You know how when you have kids, it just seems like all of a sudden the amount of stuff in your home just increases exponentially? Well, this week I was reminded or confronted by the realization that that is not always about the kids. Let's talk about it. My name is Candace and welcome back to our Simplified Home. This is another installment of my weekly Declutter With Me series. If you watch the video that I will link up above where I talk about my goals for the coming year, I want to continue to share these weekly installments of what I'm decluttering because that encourages me to declutter things weekly. As usual, I have a bag of stuff that I'm donating and I'm going to share 3 items with you and talk a little bit about why I'm ready to let them go this week in the hopes that it might encourage you to think about some of the stuff in your home a little bit differently. Okay, this one is this really nice. This is really nice, actually. I still really like this. If you can't tell, this is a big puzzle set and the pieces are really big. It's like one of those puzzles of the United States of America. Every state is a different piece and it's big, so you like do it on the floor of your living room or something. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who bought this. Even if I wasn't, I was really excited about this coming into our home because I have such great memories of learning all the states and learning the capitals and like my mom giving us, me and my brother, different rhymes and songs and stuff to try to remember them. And then I remember feeling so proud once I did finally learn them. And so when I saw this, I thought, oh my gosh, my kids are gonna have the same experience that I did. They're gonna love it and they're gonna be so happy with themselves when they learn all the states and geography and all that cool stuff. And the truth is, they don't enjoy this. They don't enjoy this. And this is big to have just sat in our closet and nobody actually enjoyed it. Of course, I do want my kids to learn American geography and I want them to learn the states and capitals, but maybe this giant puzzle is not the way. So this week, this is going in the donation bag. Second thing that's going in my donation bag this week is this big bag of crayons. No, it's not crayons. Markers, colored pencils, regular pencils, all that stuff. If you watched, it might have been my very first video where we cleaned out our art cabinet, and I at that time felt pretty comfortable with what we did. I felt good about it. But I realized that the fact that I had still kept so many markers and so many pencils and so many colored pencils was not because anybody was asking for them. It's because I enjoyed having a lot of them. And I think a lot of us, well, I don't know, you tell me if you agree or not. As a kid, you know, didn't you just have a dream of just thousands of markers, just every marker you could ever want? Like the really nice, like the Crayola ones, you know, the beautiful, good smelling ones, those smelly, I forget what those are called, the smelly markers. Like, that was a dream. And to think that I could create that dream for my kids was awesome. But then I realized they don't really actually use that many markers, and that is a space in our home that is being taken up with stuff that nobody is really asking for. So yes, all those markers and pencils and everything are going in the donation bag this week. The third thing that I would share with you this week, I actually do not have with me. It is a giant container, and I'm gonna try to show you a picture of the kind of container we used. It was full of books. One day, well, I think I was at the grocery store this week, and when I came home, it turns out that my husband had worked with our kids to go through their bookshelves to clean out the books that they were no longer interested in. And if you watch this video somewhere, I forget what side it goes on, but I will link to it where I talk more about how we manage having such a large collection of books in a home that we are simplifying. And part of that, I share how it's important that we go through that collection regularly. Anyway, so it turns out my husband and our kids did that this past week and came up with a huge collection of books that they were ready to donate. So it's pretty cool. We live in a community that really values books and reading and all that. So I posted it on Facebook, and immediately there were so many people representing different schools in our city who were interested in taking it, and I ended up passing that big box of mostly children's books. Some of them were adult books, but for them, anyway, that big collection of books went to this woman who is organizing a book drive. And so I know the books will be redistributed throughout the community, and that's awesome. So I don't have a picture because they're already out there living their next lives in somebody else's home. So at this point, you might have recognized the theme of all the things, or of those 3 things that I'm donating this week. Those are like kids items, but they were not about my kids. It kind of just hit me just an hour or so ago that those items were really about me and really about my experience and the way that I was putting my wishes onto my kids through the stuff that I bought them. And that's not a healthy way to build a relationship or to manage a home, because I have too much emotional investment then in items that are not for me. And so then it will impact the way I watch or see my kids using those items, and that's not fair. And also then I crowd our storage with stuff for me, but for them, but it's not the stuff that they want. And I think family minimalism is really about making room for the things that matter to the people in the home, but also then the people in the home that will use the item. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's funny. These are kids' items, but these are not items that my kids asked for. These are not items that my kids wanted. These are items that I wanted for them. And we don't have to live like that. We don't have to do that to our kids. I don't have to do that to my kids. I want to encourage them to think independently, to have their own dreams, to have their own wishes. And then my job as a parent is to support the dreams for their lives, not to make sure my dreams get lived through them, right? So if you are also decluttering this week, and especially if you have kids in your home, I would encourage you to look through your stuff, your kids' stuff, and ask yourself, is that item really about your child? Or is that item responding to some dream that you had for yourself? And if it is, then consider, is it working for your child? And if it's not, let it go. Make room for their dreams. Make room for the things that they're interested in. And also just make room for things that we don't even know are out there yet, but that might serve a really great purpose in your home. Good luck with all of your decluttering this week. I am with you on this journey. In the meantime, we will plan to meet here in our simplified home really soon, where we can continue to talk about family minimalism, simplifying, all that kind of cool stuff. All right, bye.